As you know that a few years ago, back in 2014, we had set up what we call the Tuna Support Fund to provide funding assistance to locally owned and controlled fishing companies to raise their financial capacity to compete with foreign fishing companies that generally receive large subsidies from foreign governments. To start off the fund, what we did was we started imposing a 6 cents per litre bunker fuel levy, of which 4 cents per litre is transferred to the TSF account, or the Tuna Support Fund. We have today, following a very rigorous and very prolonged assessment, we'll be distributing about $3.2 million. In fact, to be exact, $3,270,972.26 will actually be disbursed to 7 companies that will be the beneficiaries of this fund. It is very critically important for people to understand, in particular the Fijians, to understand that our fishing companies actually face a lot of tough competition. And as you know, the fishing industry is actually getting very restrictive in the sense, because obviously fish stocks are no longer as much as it used to be. Of course, there are a lot more companies competing. There are a lot more actually private companies, foreign private companies, that are giving a lot of subsidies by the different respective countries, and our local companies actually have to compete with them. So the issue, of course, was, and this has been going on now for almost about 2 years, as to how we will distribute the funds. And we finally actually come up with a formula, and let me tell you what the formula is. There's a distribution formula which takes into consideration at least 4 specific factors, and which are then given a different weighting. So data was collected for the past 7 years through a very specific form, which is filled out by the companies and of course verified by auditors. So firstly, the weighting of 30% was given to the number of vessels that a 100% owned controlled company that were licensed and fished a minimum of 8 months in a year. So if you actually had that, then you were given a weight. There was a weighting of 30% given to that. Then you actually given certain percentage points out of that. The other, of course, weighting or factor that was taken into consideration was the years of operation with Fijian shareholding, with a weight of 30% being given to this. So as we've had some foreign companies that have been based in Fiji, but they don't have absolutely any Fijian citizenship. So if you obviously had Fijian citizenship as part of the shareholding, or those people who were shareholders and had Fijian citizenship, they're obviously given a higher weighting. Some people, of course, we recognize the fact that some people initially were foreigners and then became Fijian citizens. So we also recognize the dual citizenship. Third factor was the contribution to employment provided by the company in proportion to the employment of the fishing companies that are proposed to receive the fund. So we obviously then had to see which company received or actually engaged more Fijians or gave more employment. So this was given a weight of 20%. Then there was a weighting of 20% given to investment in the facilities apart from boats or ships. So there are some shipping companies, of course, we wanted to see what type of perhaps inshore facilities have they developed. Have they developed, for example, better docking? Have they, put in more investment in storage facilities? Because we want to be able to grow the industry, and so accordingly we had to ensure that and give weighting, and indeed, of course, encourage for the future that these companies actually invest in these areas, not just the ships themselves, but in terms of what perhaps could lead to more value adding. So there were the 4 areas that weighting was given to, and after numerous consultations, Shiri Gounder from Ministry of Economy, working together with his PS, actually went through a very long period of actually doing assessments. Some companies, of course, knocked off. We also had to ensure that the companies that were receiving the checks were also compliant with various regulatory requirements. We also had to ensure that their dealings were also above board. Some may not know this, but the fishing industry has been prone to a number of, shall we say, anomalies in a very diplomatic manner, where some of these entities actually have done a lot of, engaged in a lot of corrupt dealings, have misrepresented facts, have not necessarily given the right information both to the Fishing Industry Association and also to the Ministry of Fisheries. So what happens today, ladies and gentlemen, we will actually announce the companies that will actually get these benefits. We of course are quite firm about this. So they will receive their checks, but what will happen today is we'll make the announcement. They're giving the letters today. They have to sign a statutory declaration. All the directors of the companies need to sign the statutory declarations to say that whatever they have represented to us is actually accurate and correct. Once they have done that, then they can pick up the checks from the Ministry of Economy. The checks are all ready. It's all got your names on it. We just need the statutory declarations and the right people to sign the statutory declarations. So we're happy to announce that the 7 companies are the Fiji Fish Marketing Group Limited, Solenda Pacific Limited, Sequest Fiji Limited, Hangton Pacific Company Limited, Howe Fisheries Limited, Solenda VT Limited, and Flexto Limited. These are the 7 companies that have actually qualified. Of course, they get different amounts depending on the weighting they have attained through the different 4 categories. And as I said, that we would like to give out the envelopes to them today. So if we can have the presentation now, and then we can open up the questions, floor for any questions.